Hey, welcome back, Cloud Scholars. I'm your host once again, Kieran Tross. Today, I'd like to discuss the infamous topic: what is the difference between an availability set and availability zone? Now, I remember when I first started in my Azure journey, this topic confused the heck out of me. But I'm here today to remove that confusion for you and most of all, provide you some clarity. But before we get into defining or what's the difference between either one, we got to answer some questions. Define what is an availability set. Within availability set, there are fault domains and update domains. Define what is an availability zone. And once you define those, we'll have the differences, but we need to figure out how to choose either one of those options. What is an availability set? An availability set is a logical grouping of VMs that allows Azure to understand how your application is built to provide you redundancy and availability. All right, we got to say that again because I still don't understand that. So let me explain. Each availability set is assigned an update domain and a fault domain. A Microsoft data center has tons of racks. These racks have network switches, cables, and power that keep the network switches running. To be honest, it's more complicated than that, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to simplify it. Now on the screen, we have three fault domains. Now, with the fault domains, what happens if a fault domain if the power goes out for one of your switches? The reason why you have availability sets, if one of this power goes down and you have your resources spread out across the fault domains, now fault domain 1 may go down, but fault domain 2 is still up and fault domain 3 is still up. And your resources are on those racks as well. So that's one of the reasons why you have availability set, because now you can tell Microsoft, hey, spread out my resources, right? My servers, my VMs, or whatever you're using, spread them out across these fault domains so that in case there is an outage within the data center, because these things just tend to happen, that all of my devices don't go down. Now, an update domain is a group of machines that can be rebooted at the same time if you're rolling out any updates. These machines are to go down together. Yep, down with the ship. No, seriously, the update domain will allow only a certain group of your machines to update, allowing you to have other devices in operation. Now, as you can see on the screen, we have fault domain 1, fault domain 2, fault domain 3. Within those fault domains, we have update domains. So we have update domain 0, update domain 2, update domain 1. But if we were needed to go ahead and say, okay, we need to roll out patches or do some upgrades, I would say, okay, we're going to start with update domain 2. And then those machines will be offline, but will still have the ability to still be active and be in production without causing us any disruption. Now, a rebooted update domain is given 30 minutes to recover before maintenance is initiated on a different update domain. This reduces the downtime to a great extent. Azure makes sure that the VMs we place in availability sets run across multiple physical servers, compute racks, storage units, and network switches. Now, what is an availability zone? With an availability zone, you are starting to use zone-aware services. Your workloads will be spread out across the different zones that make up an Azure region. An Azure region is made up of multiple data centers, and each zone is made up of one or more data centers. Each data center is equipped with independent power, cooling, and networking. So as you can see on the screen, there are three availability zones. Now think of having your availability sets spread out into different availability zones. So this way now you have even more redundancy. So in the case a whole building goes down, you still have resources in the other two buildings. So that's really what the availability zone would be. Now, why would a business choose an availability zone? Because businesses select availability zones for a variety of reasons, including compliance, proximity to end customers, Cloud administrators can also choose to replicate services across multiple availability zones to decrease latency or protect resources. Admins can move resources to another availability zone in the event of an outage. Certain cloud services may also be limited to a particular region of availability zones. Now, we've answered what availability zone is and also what availability set is. But the last thing is availability zone versus availability set. And honestly, the answer isn't binary. It really depends on what you need within your organization. What are the business needs? Some of the questions you really need to ask yourself are availability zones available in the region I want to use them? What are the SLAs that my business needs in order to stay in operation? And then also, what are the workloads? It can get very complicated when you're looking at availability zones versus availability sets. You also have to take costs into factor as well. So each scenario is different. There's no one or zero answer when it comes to this. You really have to really get an understanding of what the business needs are in order to really say, okay, this is right for me. So that's it, Cloud Scholars. That's all I have for you today. As always, thank you for taking the time to listen to this video. If you like this video, please smash that like and please definitely subscribe. I have way more content and more videos to come to you. Here at Cloud Scholars, my goal is to get you from scholar to consultant and from consultant to expert. See you next time.